In my video today, I am going to cover a question that someone asked me about my locks. The person wanted to know how many locks do I have. So in this video, I'm going to cover how many locks I have. I'm going to cover the pattern that I used to establish my locks. I'm also going to shed a little bit of light on why I chose that pattern and a few things I considered before settling for this size that I have, and yeah, pretty much that's what I'm covering in this video today. So if you're interested to know, stay tuned. So before I tell you how many locks I have, I did attempt to count it yesterday. I counted it in the beginning of when I started my locks. I counted it, but like I mentioned in my previous videos, I did encounter some problems up here because this is the thickest portion of my hair, and usually this is the part that I experience unraveling whenever I washed my hair. And I'm not sure if I mentioned that initially, because I started with very short hair, about 1.5 inches growth of hair, I used to encounter unraveling, especially at the top portion of my hair. And in order to combat that, I always wore a wig cap, those ones that look like a net, and it allows me, wash my hair without disturbing the curl/twist pattern that I started my locks with. And that helped very much, especially for the first 3 months that I started my locks. However, going back a little bit, my locks, the size I had was kind of like the micro locks, medium locks size. I had about 268, and from there I started to reduce up until I got to about 100 locks. And even at 100 locks, it was still a lot for me. I had to consider my life, the kind of lifestyle I wanted to live, and what kind of maintenance, devotion I was willing to give to my hair. And I had to face the truth. I really do want to keep my locks for the rest of my life because I've always been a braider. I always wore braids. It's my go-to style, and the only downside to wearing braids is the install and the takedown. If I could eliminate those two processes, life would be so much better. If I could also eliminate the detangling that comes with every form of protective hairstyle, or even natural hair in general, I would be more than happy to do that. Basically, I wanted a number of locks on my head that I don't have any issues maintaining, whether I am 20 years old, 50, or 100. I want a number that I am not fazed by, or a number that doesn't intimidate me to maintain. So that's why I went for the number of locks that I have right now. It's small, it's not too much, it's not too little, it was just perfect. So you might want to consider that. If you have like 1,000 locks on your head, ask yourself, you might be excited about it right now, but in 5 years, in 10 years, are you still going to be excited about how many locks you have to maintain on your head? If the answer is no, my recommendation, go for a smaller lock count on your head. You'll thank me for it later. So I went from really huge number of locks on my head, and I went down to like 100, and eventually I cut that down to the number I am about to give you. But before I give you that, let me tell you the pattern that I used to establish my locks and why I did that. I'm just going to cover those two. I went for not exactly a perfect braid pattern, but I went for the brick style, meaning your first row, they kind of stagger. So pretend this is the first row of the locks I have, 1, 2, 3. The next row kind of sits in the middle of the ones at the bottom. So I have the brick style. Yeah, I know. Who does that? I does that. So basically I stagger my locks so that it gives the full the look of fullness. I parted my locks, so I hope you can see what I'm showing you. I may have to check this later. If you can't see it, I'm gonna record another one that will show you exactly what I'm talking about. And another thing I put into consideration when I was plotting the map of my locks is I wanted something that will be easy for me to maintain myself, because I love to DIY, especially with my hair. So I wanted to have a sort of row system such that as my hair grows longer, I can just bunch it up and I can pull down like a row at a time. And that way it's easy for me, as opposed to, I love the random look of, you know, just random locks, like just pick it, the organic type, if they call it organic, but those that don't have a specific grid pattern or row system. I would have loved that, except when it comes time for maintenance, I might run into situations where I'm like, oh, does this loose hair belong to this lock, or does it belong to this lock? And if you're like, oh, well, I don't know, I'm just gonna put it on this lock. Over time, you may start thinning out some locks because the hair you joined with this locks the last time was supposed to be for this lock. And because this is too skinny, you borrow from another and another, and I feel you might start having locks, random locks that are suffering from stolen hairs, if that makes sense. That's why I decided to go for some sort of grid pattern. Not the perfection grid pattern of sister locks. No, I just went row by row. I staggered them to make sure the locks at the top stand in the middle parts of the locks at the bottom. And another thing that I paid attention to is what kind of parting do I want in the front of my head. I know I like the deep parts, so I made sure I had a deep part. I know I kind of replicated whatever I have going on this side, I also have the center part, even though I'm never gonna, well, never say never, but I'm not so much of a center part person because, yeah, I just don't think it looks good on me, but it doesn't hurt to have it just in case, you know, I grow to like it. So I put a center part. It's not very perfect, which is okay. It kind of has a slant to it, but then that could be because I haven't washed my hair, so I haven't tidied up the parts. And I have a shallow part. I also have a shallow part right here. And then I have like a curvy one, which is not exactly a straight one. So basically, the locks at this top part kind of has like a circular motion to it without exactly being a circular one. You know what, when I wash my hair and my parts are clean, I might come back and give you a quick tour of my head, my scalp, just to see what my pattern looks like. But other than that, so that is what I put into consideration, and I will suggest you do the same thing. Think about what kind of styles or how do you want to wear your locks as they grow out? Do you want a center part? Do you want a side part? Do you want a deep part? You want to plan all of that in the beginning stage of your locks. And that's exactly what I did. I also did the straight line part, especially in the back, because I want to do this myself, and I want something that's easy for me to do without needing help from anyone. And when I do maintain it, I'm just going row by row, row by row. Basically, my lines go from side all the way to the back, and until I got to about somewhere here where the line kind of curved out, which is why you will see a situation like this. So you can see this is kind of like a circle. I have a part here, but it goes just around my head, such that this is kind of like a circle lock. And if you can see, yeah, I need to maintain my locks because everything is kind of getting frizzy or something like that, but still I have the parts that I need. So it's something worth considering. It's going to make your personal or self-maintenance of your locks a lot more easier if you plan out what you need, what you want to do with your locks. If it doesn't matter to you, then by all means, do whatever you want. So now to the big part. How many locks do I have? At the end of planning what I have going on my head, sorry, I have someone calling me, I'm just gonna have to cut that call. I ended up with 77 locks. That's perfect number. So I have 77 locks, and 77 looks like this on my head. It looks nice and full. I like it. On someone else's head, it might look fuller, it might look thinner, it might look sparser, it might look, yeah, thicker. It depends on your hair thickness and how much hair you have on your head, I guess. So 77 may look different on different heads, but this is what it looks like on my head, and I am loving it. 77, honestly, trust me, when I'm maintaining it, it feels like I have 100 and something locks, because sometimes, I mean, honestly, it doesn't take a lot of time, but I'm like just grateful that I didn't go for anything more than 77 locks. So I'm happy about that. But all in all, I'm happy with the number I have. I'm happy with how they're turning out. It's a little frizzy right now because I gave it a very rigorous shake this morning, because yeah, I don't have time to wash it today, but I'll probably wash it over the weekend if I have time. Otherwise, I'll wash it some other time. So yeah, that's it about the locks. If you have any questions regarding the locks that I didn't cover again, you can please put it in the comment section. Like I got to this one, someone wanted to know how many locks I had. There you have it, 77. If there's anything else you'd like to know about my locks, please leave it in the comment section and I will 100% get to it in good time. Other than that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in following my channel, by all means hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Like I said before, it's not a locks channel, but I definitely will upload locks content for people who are interested in my journey and how it goes with the water only maintenance. I would definitely love to do that for anyone who's interested, because I have really benefited from other people's log channels. Like, they've provided really good guidance for people like me who want to start logs from the scratch and just needed some tips and tricks here and there, something to help in the process, and I'm really grateful. So this is my own little contribution to that process for anyone who is interested. And just so you know, if you didn't know, I only wash it with shampoo and I retwist. I don't use any products. So yeah, that's everything. All right, not to make this video too long, I'm so grateful and thankful for everyone who clicked this channel and watched it to the end. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Adios.